Hey Star Wars fans, my name is Prince and I am an urban acolyte. In this video, I'm going to talk about this popular theory going around by Vincent Vendetta. Basically, he said that Snoke is Mace Windu. So I'm going to go point by point through his video, and I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with the Mace Windu is Snoke theory. So Vincent spends the first 2 minutes of his video talking about the story that came out back in June, where Samuel L. Jackson said that he believes Mace Windu survived his encounter with Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and that's based completely on the fact that Samuel L. Jackson wants to be in the new movies. I did a video on that and I said, yes, it's possible that Mace Windu could have survived, but should he? And to answer my own question, no, he should not have survived. The whole point of that event was it's the final thing that pushes Anakin Skywalker over the cliff. It's the point of no return where he has to become Darth Vader. So point number 2, Vincent says that someone having their arm cut off is not a lethal injury. Mace Windu was hit with the full power of Palpatine's Force Lightning. This didn't kill Mace, so we know he's still alive. Force Lightning has never killed anyone in previous movies, and no Jedi has ever died from falling. Well, the injury to Mace Windu when Anakin cut his arm off, or cut his hand off, that was not meant to kill Mace Windu. The purpose of that was to stop Mace Windu from killing Palpatine. Anakin wanted Palpatine to stand trial, that way he could pump him for information so that he could learn how to save Padme's life. You need to put things in their proper context. Additionally, you said that Mace Windu was hit with the full force of Palpatine's lightning. Well, if he were hit with the full force of Palpatine's lightning, it would have killed him. Force lightning has killed someone. In the Dark Disciple novel, Asajj Ventress dies when she takes the full force of Count Dooku's Force lightning that was intended for Quinlan Vos. So Force lightning can kill someone. Point number 3, you say that Mace Windu would look like Snoke after everything that happened to him. Palpatine was disfigured from his Force lightning, and the same thing happened to Mace Windu. Snoke watched the Galactic Empire rise and fall, so he has been alive since the prequels, and Mace saw the Empire rise and fall as well. The scar on Snoke's head is from him hitting his head, or Mace hitting his head after his fall, and both Mace Windu and Snoke are both bald. Okay, dude, that's just ridiculous. First off, to go with point number 2, if Mace Windu took the full force of Palpatine's lightning, it would have killed him. Mace Windu would not have looked like Palpatine. Palpatine was disfigured as a result of him having the lightning. Basically, when Mace Windu reflected Palpatine's lightning, Mace was acting as a superconductor. Palpatine was also acting as a sort of capacitor, right? So it's like each person that is Palpatine is projecting the lightning and it's coming back at him, he's getting stronger, right? And all of the exertion is what caused Palpatine's face to become disfigured. And that's not from me, that's actually from the audio commentary of that scene in Revenge of the Sith, right? If Mace Windu were disfigured from that lightning, he would have looked charred. He would have had like spider veins of lightning all over him, the same way Asajj Ventress is described to look at her funeral in the Dark Disciple novel. As far as the scar, him having a scar on his head from hitting the pavement, well, if you hit your pavement hard enough to have a scar like that, I think it would kill you, right? The whole point is that Mace Windu survives the fall, not he falls and hits his head. Dude, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, point number 4, you say Mace isn't as good and innocent as people think. Mace Windu uses and these are your words, a badass purple lightsaber. The lightsaber symbolizes his balance of dark and light. Mace Windu uses the dark side of the Force. As an example, Mace wanted to kill Palpatine, and Anakin said it's not the Jedi way to kill without a trial. You say Snoke is also obsessed with the balance of the dark and the light side of the Force. Snoke chose to train Ben Solo because Ben has the dark and the light within him. Snoke sees himself in Kylo Ren since they both embody the dark and the light side of the Force. Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I think Snoke is purely a dark side Force user, but I think that he is something more, something different from just a regular Sith. Well, not really regular Sith, because what is a regular Sith? I think that Snoke is something else, and he leans more dark than light. Kylo Ren, he sees as a new type of Force user, someone who is strong with the light and strong with the dark. Basically, I think that Snoke is trying to create something else in Kylo Ren, but I'll save that for another video because that's not the purpose of this video. And I'm not making that up. That's all in the visual dictionary. Something that you should read, Vincent. As far as Mace's use of a purple lightsaber, you say that it's the balance of the dark and the light. It's what you'd get if you mix red and blue, but Jedi also have green lightsabers, and if you mix red and green, you get yellow. So why wouldn't Mace Windu's lightsaber just be yellow instead of purple if that were the case? Sometimes you can't use in Star Wars reasoning when you come up with stuff. Mace Windu had a purple lightsaber because purple was his favorite color. He asked George Lucas if he could have a purple lightsaber so that he would stand apart from everyone else on the Battle of Geonosis, right? It's just a matter of that was what the actor asked for. As far as Mace using the dark side of the Force, that's also not true. Vapad is the Jedi version of the Sith fighting style called Joyo. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but I think it's spelled J-U-Y-O, Joyo. This fighting style focuses on using the Force to make you stronger, so it's really based on brute force. If someone becomes more angry or they inflict more suffering on their opponent, that fuels the dark side of the Force. It's their enjoyment for battle that fuels the dark side of the Force. It makes them stronger. So it's basically as a fight goes on, the longer the fight drags on, this person gets stronger, they get faster, they get better. Now the Jedi version of this, Vapad, is that they don't necessarily enjoy the battle. They don't enjoy the suffering that is happening. They just use all of that to channel, but they don't get attached to those feelings that would lead someone deeper into the dark side of the Force. So it's not that Mace Windu uses the dark and the light. It's that Mace has recognized how not to become attached to feelings and emotions that would push someone towards the dark side of the Force. So, sorry dude, but this point just doesn't stand. Point number 5, you say that Mace turns to the dark side because he received a strong push. Betrayal by Anakin pushed him to the dark side. He now has a vendetta against the Skywalker family and wants to kill Luke. He also wants to get revenge against the Palpatine lineage, and he's interested in finding Rey. And then you cite that Mace Windu believes he's the chosen one and not Anakin. The chosen one would bring balance to the Force. Mace Windu has balanced the Force, thus he must be the chosen one. Well, Mace Windu even asked Yoda about the prophecy of Mortis. He seems to believe that Anakin is the chosen one. The problem is he doesn't trust Anakin, and he may not fully believe in this prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force, right? The Jedi don't really understand this prophecy. They just accept it because it is a Jedi prophecy, right? So Mace Windu would not believe that he's the chosen one. I've not listened to that theory. I really don't even want to waste my time on that because Mace Windu's not the chosen one. George Lucas said Anakin's the chosen one. So all of that goes out the window. That kind of debunks that statement. As far as Mace turning to the dark side because he received a strong push, the only strong push he received was when he got hit with a jolt of Force lightning that sent him to his death. Snoke is interested in Rey because she's strong enough to resist Kylo Ren. It's not because she's a Palpatine, which she's not. So none of that stands. All right, this is interesting. So this is point number 6. You talk about lightsaber choreography. This is where I really hammered you on your Rey Palpatine thing. Some people didn't like it, and I'm sorry, But sometimes you have to look outside of the movies and look at behind the scenes and directing for reasons. So your point number 6 is this backswing slicing move is Mace Windu's signature move, and Snoke taught it to Kylo Ren. That is actually not true. I don't think Mace Windu has a signature move, right? Mace Windu uses Vapod. I said before that it specializes in the use of brute strength, right? This backswing slicing move is really just slice number 4, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 4, I'm going across here. Now, if I specialize in a lightsaber form that uses brute force, that uses the force to enhance my strength, where normally I would need to use this lightsaber with one hand to go across my body with 2 hands, now number 4 becomes bam. That's your backswing slicing move. Now, if we add footwork into that, if I'm turning, then I'm turning and going across the same way that Mace Windu decapitated Jango Fett. So there's no signature move. That's just the choreography. The fight choreographer, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, for the prequel movies, specialize in fencing. George Lucas and the stunt coordinator, they wanted to make every fight have its own flavor. So every fight that Mace Windu is involved, yes, maybe he did a lot of across, he did a lot of angle 3 or swing 3, swing 4. Actually, I did that backwards. Swing 3, swing 4. And maybe they said, hey, we want to see you do a lot of things with one hand because you're stronger due to the use of a pod, right? So, and then as far as Snoke teaching it to Kylo Ren, no, not really. It's just Kylo Ren is using those same angles. And a lot of times you see Kylo Ren fighting with one hand. I believe that Kylo Ren uses his lightsaber with one hand a lot because Darth Vader was known to fight with one hand. Maybe he's seen hollows of Vader using his lightsaber. The problem is that when Kylo Ren fights with one hand, with his lightsaber, a lot of times he's reckless, and that is why Finn was able to land a shot on him. That's why Rey was able to defeat him, in addition to his injuries. So one, he's reckless, and he's got an unstable lightsaber, and he was hurt. We'll get to that later in another point. Point number 7, you say that the Force Awakens in Finn. I agree with you. I think that there is a strong possibility that Finn is Force sensitive, but the awakening in the Force Awakens, that's in the visual dictionary. Why earlier I said you should probably read the visual dictionary before you come up with this stuff. In the visual dictionary, it says that the Force Awakens, it is a turbulence in the cosmic force that is due to the events of Rey and Finn's adventures on Jakku. As far as the turbulence beginning, it begins when Poe Dameron shoots Slip, what is Slip's number designation? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But the guy Finn's friend who gets capped at the very beginning of the movie, and he leaves the handprint on Finn. I want to say it's 2003, but I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But when Slip dies, that's really what sets everything in motion. All right, so point number 8 I have, and I might have combined like everything here. You say since Finn is Force sensitive, his parents are likely Force sensitive. Snoke, as Mace Windu, was disappointed that Finn did not display much Force potential, so he sent him off to become a stormtrooper and sought out another child to take on as an apprentice. Finn worked as a sanitation worker. Kylo Ren was supposed to keep an eye on Finn, and they both ended up on a mission together on Jakku. Finn worked in sanitation on Starkiller Base, and him being on Jakku with Kylo Ren is suspicious. You say the film focuses on Finn's betrayal. There's little more to his betrayal than meets the eye. And at the end, you said that Kylo Ren toyed with Finn when he could have easily killed him. He chose to keep him alive because Finn is very important to Snoke. Now, I just mentioned why Kylo Ren was toying with Finn. He was trying to fight off Fancy and everything, and it didn't work out for him in the end. Finn managed to land shots on him, and Rey took him down because she finally let the Force guide her actions. Now, Finn can be Force sensitive, but his parents don't have to be strong with the Force, right? Anyone can use the Force, and it's not something that's based on bloodlines or lineage. The Force runs strong in some families, but just because someone is Force sensitive doesn't mean that their parents are also Force sensitive. As far as Finn working as a sanitation worker, that was his job when he was a cadet in training. It wasn't, oh, he's just a janitor. He was in training. Finn was the leader of his squadron, of his fire team, right? There were 4 of them, and you saying that the film focuses on Finn's betrayal. Well, when we see his confrontation with 2199, it's because, dude, you're like our big brother. You are our leader. Look at you now. You're like with the people that we've been taught our whole lives to hate, to kill. You are a traitor to us and to everything. You sold out your family, dude. That's the big thing with Finn's betrayal, is that his whole life he was taught to do one thing, and in one moment he went completely against it. And the big question is, well, why was Finn able to just easily shrug off this programming that he's had his entire life? Who is he? What's special about him? He's not Snoke's son. He's not Mace Windu's kid. I've done another video where I talk all about that. You should check it out. So with all of that being said, I would like to hear from you. What do you guys think about this Mace Windu is Snoke theory? I've gone through every point that Vincent Vendetta made and shown that it's full of errors. I guess I'll leave it up to you. Do you think that there's any possibility that Mace Windu is Snoke? So anyway, let me know your thoughts on Vincent Vendetta's theory, or just whatever things you may have learned from me presenting this down below, and I'll be checking to see what you guys have to say. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. We have Star Wars Rebels Season 3 coming on Saturday. I'm very excited. I'm going to do my best to get as many Star Wars Rebels videos out to you guys this week, but I think Disney may be pulling back the throttle on their marketing, because they've shown us a lot already. Also, I'm going to be working on another video on Rey, as far as her being the chosen one, which is what a lot of people have been talking about. And I don't think that she's like a chosen one or anything, so I'm going to make a video to really clear that up. And it'll tie into my Rey as the First Jedi video that I did back in June. So that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the Force be with you, always.